Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel with myself, Isabella. Thank you so much for joining me here today. If you're new here, my name's Isabella and I'm a graduate of the Vaganova Ballet Academy. I then went on to dance with Michailovsky Ballet and Eiffman Ballet before I returned to London and founded BWI, which is an online platform filled with classes, courses, and we host intensives worldwide for adults and soon vocational students, which I'm super excited about. Before we begin, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another episode. Today is a super exciting episode and one which I have had many messages from you asking if I can react or analyze and share my opinions about the most recent Tsiskaridze grade 7 or year 7 exam. These girls are 1 year away from graduation. Now, when I was there, it would mean they were actually 2 years away from graduation. So when I was there, N.Tsiskaridze Silmaratova, who was the former director, who we all love and definitely miss, she added another year on. So it was kind of like it was added on, then it was taken off, and etc. But I really appreciated having that extra year because it gave me more time to develop, especially because I was very tall, so it took me longer to get a bit stronger. Bear that in mind when we're watching this video. These girls are 2 years away. They're around 15, 16 years old. Some of them may be 17. And then next year, they would be more towards 17, 18. So they may be mostly 16, 17 in this class. This is a very interesting exam. Number one, I was kind of shocked that N.M Tsiskardize had taken on a women's class. It's not very common that that happens. Most of the time, a woman will lead the ladies. Just because, you know, much like it's uncommon for a woman to lead a male class, you know, there are certain things which are very female orientated, and that's not to say male coaches are not useful for women. I mean, I've had some fabulous lessons with coaches, but giving them the responsibility of teaching women full time is something different altogether. Like my beloved Gennady Zaluski was very close with many ballerinas and helped coach them and helped work with them, but you know, that's different, you know, coaching variations, coaching paradas, all these kinds of things. And so having the responsibility, like I say, of taking on a whole class is different. So as we all know, watching the Vaganova exams, those that are familiar, you've probably noticed that they look a little bit different, and they definitely do. So recently, last year, I reacted to the graduation class of Kovalova. That class already looked slightly different, probably from the director's influence. I'm really interested to see and share my thoughts about this recent exam. I'm not going to watch the whole thing, because it is an hour long and we'll be here a long time, but I will watch most of it with you. And so you'll definitely get an idea as to my thoughts, and I'm really looking at not necessarily to criticize anybody or to criticize the girls at all either. It's more so to analyze the differences between when I was there and from when N.Tsiskaridze was there, and even before that, you know, before I was around, you know, it's very, very different. It looks kind of like a different school, or to be honest, almost. So let's have a look, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. You know, this is a very open space. I'm just sharing my opinions, and it's I'm not saying what's right, what's wrong. It's just my open thoughts, which I know you all appreciate. So let's watch together and enjoy. He looks happy. What's funny is, there's my teacher Grabanova, who has been around a long time, and she's actually doing really well. She's really building up her status, and she's really actually producing some great dancers. We love her. There's Angelina Vorontsova there, who was obviously a real muse of Nikolai, and he really looked after, similar to how I said Gennady Zaluski looked after people like Yulia Makhalina. He was kind of coaching her a lot, since they have a good relationship. There's Marina Vasilyeva and Kovalova in the background there, who's obviously been around a long time, and speaking to her is Svetlana Ivanova from the Mariinsky. And that's Kasankova there with the black bag, who's one of the most recent teachers in the last like 10 years, and Ayupova, He was a great dancer, oh my gosh. What's interesting is usually the role of Nikolai is not usually this involved, but he's very much almost every role in one, leading the school. And now a women's class. So these girls, as I said, if I was there at the same time, they would have 2 years left, but now they just have 1. Everything's like a performance with him, you know, very musical. And the exams, in his case, they've changed slightly. They really feel like a show. And interestingly, we never used to applaud in the exams. They used to be more quiet. And something that, you know, we watch in silence unless something was particularly impressive. But the amount of times they applaud in this is a lot. And yeah, it's not what we used to do. It's nice though for them. I'm sure that person whose phone went off is going to be fired. I'm kidding. After watching, I have watched this a little bit. I feel like the plie is the one and only calm moment of the exam for them. I also noticed the girls are a lot smaller and sort of more athletic looking. Now I don't know whether that's just this grade this year, because you know each class can change quite a lot. And because these girls are quite young still in their development, you know, they've still got a lot of strength to build, and they all will keep building it until into their mid-20s, you know, into their 30s. I imagine Nikolai has this sort of ideal exercises in his head with the music. He's obviously a very musical person. I reckon he finds the music first and choreographs to the music rather than choreographing exercises. But you can just see some of the girls. I mean, these double soutanues are nice, impressive, but but it's kind of like we've done plie and now we're just going to go a little bit crazy. The double soutanues are impressive though. So yes, I imagine he finds the music and then nice back bends. But like, I don't know why they're clapping now, you know. But as you can see, like it does get really quick for them, which I don't think is always necessary. But the exams are visibly quicker, you know, especially when we start doing the grand jeté. And those are nice to look at, the swings of the leg. But because it's so quick, you can see how, especially these girls on the side, like, you know, they can't get the legs up to Vaganova extension height, you know. The grand ronds just don't go as high. They're like just above 90, which maybe he wants. But every extension so far is quick. There's not many holds of the legs, you know, which is again interesting. Even when we lift the leg, it's relatively quick. Arabesques are kind of 90 degrees because obviously he's put in a lot of pirouettes. And the extensions, it's funny, they're okay, but they're very different to how Vaganova what Vaganova is known for, you know? We're kind of known for our extensions. I do like the music. I do like how he's put in the music so it kind of continues, but also is giving them a rest. That girl on the end has a nervous fidget, like me. I had that. I do like the girl in the middle. She's got a nice physique. I do feel like Nikolai is obsessed with pirouettes. They're in every single combination, and not just once, but 1,000 times. But you see, even when we're lifting the legs, like it's a little bit smacked up and coming down. There's not many holds. Nice clean doubles, and that would usually be quite high. So it just seems there's a difference in priority. You know, there's a difference in what is felt to be important to show off, important to show. Which is very interesting. And now it's frappe, which means we're not just going to get a little quick. You see, they start to look a little not so together. Straight into combat one. So it's interesting, I kind of watching that, and this is to no fault of the girls or anything, I'm just kind of interested in seeing. It didn't feel like there was a definitive adage moment, you know? Like, oh, beautiful lines, beautiful adage. I didn't really see that, and that's something which we're used to seeing, just like in awe of the expression and the artistry. There's not too much of that. And he does love a little balançoire at the end. I think if you compare that to one of his... we're going to come into the centre now. I think if you compare that to one of his boys, the first boys class he did, the exam, there's loads of similarities. Loads of swinging of the legs and lots of balançoire and really quick changes of direction. Tons of pirouettes. Yeah, he likes those. Whether it's necessary... I just feel like because they've got a year left, they still have some strengthening to do. They look a little bit like they've been trained in a different way, so they're better at different things. Oh, I'll be very interested to see the other teachers as well. Also to see how like different years develop with different teachers, especially ones that have been there pre-Tsiskaridze. So now we do the tendu, and now they have their pointe shoes on. And this is something I don't know much about in terms of why he's changed many things, but why he put them in pointe shoes almost straight away, so they do the jumps in the pointe shoes. And I can probably guess why, to have them more sort of company ready and be more used to the pointe shoes, you know. Being able to jump in them and being able to do adage in them requires more stability. And not only that, you can probably do more combinations within the hour because it's still the same length of time for the exam. But yeah, there must be, you know, more jumps, and obviously he does a lot of very Nikolai things, you know, makes them do little variations and little things. It's just very quick all the time it's very quick. Be nice. And already jumping. I mean, they're warm, but you know, still. But at the moment, I would say as well, what is also interesting is there's no real definitive dancer or dancers which are really kind of catching my eye. You know, they're all nice dancers, but there's no kind of real, I want to say, you know, Olga Smirnova type star kind of quality coming out at me. And I'm not even talking just kind of lines and technique. I'm just talking about even just kind of aplomb and presence. I feel like I'm more focused on the combinations which are in front of me and looking at the impressive choreography and combinations rather than noticing a particular dancer or, I want to say, star, you know. Yeah, you know, even in Maria Chorova's class, who was obviously she had Kovalova, and Kovalova would really, you know, bring out the artistry in people. There was several definitive dancers in her class, including obviously Maria. And obviously last year in Kovalova's class, the other Maria who's gone to Bolshoi was also very interesting. But she, that's the 2023 reaction and analysis I did. She looked very Bolshoi though, and it kind of suits her that she's gone there. She's doing really well, which is great. But she did look Bolshoi, just a little bit more, out there, less classically refined looking, you know, sort of like a Novikova. So now they do this sort of variation thing, with lots of passés and retires, I think, which again is interesting. I just don't know whether it's strictly necessary, but again, why not? But I'm trying to think, you know, what would this necessarily show, other than, sure, a little bit of character. A little bit of character, but it's not necessarily technically challenging. But maybe it's his way of getting in some of the syllabus in there. But I'm also yeah, it's interesting. But it just seems to me a little bit out of place, like with the clicking and things. While it's nice, it's like, let's save this for character. But again, I just feel like he likes to put on a whole performance. But that honestly seemed like that wasn't really that necessary, and it seemed like let's tire them out for not much reason, you know, and especially because it was really short as well. It was kind of like not really sure what that was. But again, it was nice and enjoyable. I just don't know whether it's needed right now. And then we go back into the exam, so it just felt a bit strange to put in there. I would understand if someone wanted to put in maybe like Queen of the Dryads, you know, like, oh, let's do Ekate Tayam Tatam Ta, or something like that. That makes more sense to me. I do like this girl in front. I would say she's the most interesting one to me. You see this girl in the middle just looks like she's a little bit more in touch with her artistic side and the lines a little bit. These are really tough, you know, they're doing very well. Like I said, there's no issue necessarily with technique. They're very capable, and they're not going to have too much shock when they join a company in terms of speed, and they'll be prepared. But it's more so at this age, you kind of want more priority on certain things potentially, you know. Like for example, even when you compare to someone such as, you know, Mai Nagahisa in the Mariinsky, who trained at Princess Grace and who obviously has developed and grown up in the Mariinsky under fabulous coaches. She has beautiful, beautiful quality about her. And even people like Renata Shakirova, who's recently been named ballerina, prima ballerina, she was less like, you know, Novikova or Lepak kind of type, but more energetic Tereshkina type. But there was still that kind of very star quality coming out. So now we're jumping a bit more. And again, because it's quick, we can't, they're not massively showing the lines, you know, just above 90, the legs, just above 90. I want to see those legs up. And I want to see nice heels forwards. These girls look kind of quite small, don't they? I wonder how tall they are. Just curious. I mean, it's all challenging. Yeah, they get a round of applause. Let's applaud. It's very challenging technically, but I feel like you know, I want to see a little bit more detail in how they're landing and the turnout and things. Like really drill that in, more so than making them go faster. Obviously some schools do that, and it's like the way they do things. It's just what I'm focused on here is how it's different to before, because it is very, very different. Like, you know, let me know if you want me to do even a comparison of a few exercises of, you know, 7th grade in this exam, the 7th grade a few years back, because even less so about the girls themselves, it's more like we can see the difference in combinations, and also just see if it's possible, you know, more possible with, you know, slightly more focused combinations to bring out that artistry, you know, because I think it is more focused on, like, look, that girl's very struggling doing these 3 difficult turns to écarté. Tricky. So quick. I mean, gosh, me at 16, 17, I would struggle. They're coping. I mean, they've been doing this every day, so they get it, but my gosh. You guys know I practiced in the studio a lot at night. I would be practicing. Trying to force my body. Alright, let's pause there. Trying to force my body to make it go quicker. Good, my goodness me. So now we're going to fast forward a little bit and just see more towards the end. So the last 20 minutes to the end. I'd love to know your thoughts as well. All right, so let's continue now. So we're going to just watch the last 20 minutes or so. And I'd love to know, is anyone really standing out to you? Bearing in mind these girls graduate next year. So if it was Olga Smirnova's class or something, or Novikova, I keep using them as examples, or Maria Khorova, it would be clear, right? It would be like, let's see what she does next year. I'd also be interested to know how many of these girls are Russian and how many are foreign. They also, you can see they look a little bit like different dancers. They look like a different build, a little bit more athletic looking, which again is completely fine. It's it's more so the Vaganova usually steers towards this kind of very willowy looking shape. So again, but it's possible. I was chatting to a male teacher of mine, a friend. It's possible because these girls are being trained by a man. It's possible the combinations are a little bit more, into the ground, a little bit more. Maybe he does a lot of jumps, and it's possible that would have impact on things like that. And from repertoire, and each combination would feel like a little ballet within itself, whereas now it seems like each combination is kind of blending. It's kind of blending, and there'll be a highlight at some point. But this is what I'm saying. It kind of all these combinations are kind of getting lost a little bit, because the music is quite flat. I really wonder what Altanai would think if she came. Oh my gosh, I just loved her. She was great. She was tough, but she was so funny, hilarious, and not afraid to let you know she's not happy. This combination I find very interesting because I just feel like they don't arrive in the arabesque, and it looks quite Sekabesque. Like it just kind of extends and goes down. I don't really see it. And it's a little bit out to the side. Like it doesn't look like it's behind them. I love that jump, it's tough. It looks like it's kind of out to the side, and I don't know. Yeah. That's a nice pose from the girl on the left. I liked her, that pose. They must be so tired. Oh my gosh. What's funny is, I wonder if this exam ends up... I wonder if other exams, such as Kovalova's or Grabanova's, end up also filmed in this way beautifully and put online. Or whether it's just a showcase of Tsiskaridze's lessons. So he's just mentioned something. I was speaking, but we'll see. I imagine it's some sort of piece again, because he kind of introduced it and they're all here. Okay, yeah, it's another little ballet in the middle of it. I mean, these girls also look kind of nice and happy, you know, which is nice to see. I do wonder what the relationship is like with Tsiskaridze and whether he's nice, and I'm sure he's very good with, I hope, you know, considering he really took under his wing Angelina Vorontsova. I imagine he's good with girls, and in terms of, he probably pushes them hard. But yeah, they don't look, you know, terrified or anything. They look kind of confident girls, which is good. Tough. I wonder if Tsiskaridze's been on Pointe before, and he knows how tough this is. They're doing well. It's quite hard doing a double rond into another hop, but they're doing good. There's his nice girl he likes again. I would say these girls look like already sort of like they're working professionals, but they look like sort of like they're company members, and no one's massively standing out. If any of these girls watch, I would say you guys are doing great. Again, I'm just studying how it's different to when I was there, but I would say you gotta, you know, give yourself, perform. Show us why you're you, and think about all those little details even more. I want you to think about where your heels are, you know, where your arm and head is. Like there, I would leave the head more on the renversé a little bit, and present the heels more when you put down the heel before the sisson. All these things, just more, and lift the head when you jump. What is lacking for me is all the little in-between steps, and those are the things when I used to watch Olga Smirnova a lot. I used to watch her a lot when she was a year above me. This girl's nice on the left. I like her. She seems like she's got personality and she's cute. But I would say, like, I'm lacking, like, the in-between steps, just how they step even. You know, I want to see almost, you know, a bit more longer legs and taking up the space, taking up the room. That was one thing I massively noticed in people like Olga, is, like, she thought about every single step. You know, it was like I saw the feet and the hips leading and the arms and how she was leaving the head. You know, it's why she's so great and why you're mesmerized by her just moving her arm. Which, I don't quite get that with these girls, you know. I'm not getting that quite yet. So they have one more year. They have nice jumps though. I mean, they should, because they're training with, again, someone who probably focuses a lot on jumps. She has a nice, I like that one in front. She's got a nice face. They're doing well. We clap, we clap. Now, it wouldn't surprise me now that we're progressing, that some of them start to stand out more. Look, you've got big smiles. And this girl in front is obviously very nice at jumps. But I'm not getting the Vaganova purity from them, you know? Not quite as much as it used to be. But they have quite nice jumps and they have nice pirouettes. But even there, you know, it would be much more bend in the assemblée. It's just so fascinating to me. I keep mentioning it because I just keep thinking about it. They're all nice, but they kind of don't necessarily look like if they were all in different leotards and they weren't in this room. I'm not sure I'd think they were necessarily, at least not all of them. I wouldn't necessarily think they were from here, you know? Usually that's super obvious. Like, oh my gosh, where did you train? Oh my gosh, you must be from Vaganova, you know? Just by the aplomb and everything. And yeah, it's not super obvious. Because the system's changing, for sure. The system is changing. But nice chin up by the blonde girl there. I like this music. That's nice with the head. It's all the steps and glissades in between. She's nice, this girl in front. I think they must be tired, my gosh. These two in front honestly look identical. Like they're almost identical heights. I don't know if they're related. I'm not just saying that because their heights are the same. They actually look facially similar as well. Maybe they are sisters. If you guys are watching, I'm so sorry if you're not sisters, but hopefully you're friends. I would say the jump quality in the jump is there. I would say everyone needs to think a little bit more how they're getting in and out of things. And I would say, girls, if you're listening, really think about your adage as well. Prioritize maintaining your lines and having beautiful lines, because those really stand out. Don't lose that, you know. Lots of hops and arabesque. He does like those. I feel like we've been doing these jumps for like 15 minutes, but we are slowly progressing, I think. Oh yeah, we're doing solo basque. Like I said, they're all nice. There's if I went away and had to talk about it later, I would probably just remember one of the smaller girls who had the nice. I would think what it is I would remember and what's important to me. And I would remember this girl in front, because just the tall one, because she has some presence about her. I would remember that this one on the right, because she has nice expression and facial quality, which draws me in more. She has nice quality, that one. She dances bigger and taller than she is, you know. Whereas that's it, you know. I'm not really remembering anyone because of their amazing technique, you know. And I do think that's what it chalks down to. It's down to someone who has it all. You know, who has the technical who has the technical ability and who has the star quality. At this age, like, I'm not expecting a polished a polished performance, you know, or a polished dancer, like a fully ready dancer necessarily. Like, they're still young. Even Lepakina, when she was graduating, she still had a lot of strength to do, but it was very clear she had that star quality. You know, you could see it, and she had wonderful lines and wonderful sense of music and wonderful clear sense of where her priorities were in her dancing. And walking away from that, there's no one that sparks me as they have that real depth of what they're doing in this class anyway. It honestly feels like more of a showcase of choreography. I think it's about to get more complicated because we're going to pirouette, I bet, for the next 10 minutes. What these girls would have gotten better at in the last year is pirouettes, I'm sure. They do pirouettes 24/7. Those turns are a lot about coordination. Piqué turns, to be honest, especially for these girls, probably feels like a rest. They're not that difficult once you know what you're doing. They're actually really fun. What I'd like to see more is more like step out, a little bit more brave. They've been so doing crazy stuff. You know, they've been doing crazy stuff the last hour, and now all of a sudden it almost feels tame, you know? Like, I'm sure those girls could do 32. You know what's also kind of lacking for me, which is really interesting, is everyone's retires just look a little bit in. Like, they don't look quite flat. Like, it doesn't look like the hip is really rotated. Like, these piqué turns look really like they're not stepping out enough. Like, you should almost jump onto Pointe, you know, really stepping out. And all of a sudden we're going back to basics, you know? We're going back to a simple piqué manège. And it looks like they're slightly struggling with it. But that's what I mean. Like, it's much harder to slow down and really show things clearly, which is so interesting. My goodness. I would say I would want her to hold her retire. That was pretty nice. Pretty nice. See, I want the retire a little bit more open, because she opens it whilst it's still a little bit turned in. These are the ones that I think are sisters. They're probably not. And all of a sudden, the girl who can turn very well. Even so, I would love the arms to be more rounded and also more supported. Nice at pirouettes. She'd probably be a good quiche, you know? Lots of jumps in that. Lots of jumps. I don't know whether Marinsky, though. What's interesting is, you know, these girls don't look Marinsky, you know? They look more like they do better in, like, I don't know, even like Europe or America, you know? I can't imagine them at Marinsky, which is very strange for me to say, honestly. Maybe this taller girl. Maybe this slightly taller girl. And it's not really down to her height. It's down to the quality. Like this girl in front, I can imagine her at Mariinsky. Yeah. But she doesn't stand out as real something. They're always together, these two. I mean, look, those girls would probably do quite well at the Royal Ballet or something. I can imagine them doing Cupid or something. I could do imagine this girl doing like Kitri or something. But I'm not sure if necessarily Mariinsky. That would be interesting to find out where everyone ends up. With these kinds of pirouettes, I would love the ritiri to finish more to the front, because you can see if I paused that and slowed it down, the ritiri would be coming down a little bit parallel. Like you can see it's just not quite opening. But she finishes clean, which is good. She finishes clean, good. I'm all about clean. I feel like everyone's disappeared, and it's just like, it's just the lot. It's suddenly now just these four. I mean, what's very interesting, you know, I don't think Yuri Fateev is here today. He will come and watch next year. The director of Mariinsky. This girl is nice. This girl has some sort of like purity and precision about her, and clean aesthetic and lines. She's the closest to the Vaganova Academy look from this. But it seems like we're approaching the end. More emphasis on pirouettes, more emphasis on speed, more emphasis on quickness and choreographic showcase. A bit more flashy, a bit more tricksy. Oh my gosh, they must be dead. Oh, very sweet. Very sweet. Oh my gosh, I would love to get in the heads of people. I wonder what they think. Lots of flowers. Yeah, the pianist was great though. She worked very hard. She basically did not stop for an hour. She did really well. That's hard. Oh, she's so lovely. She's so lovely. Bless her. Bless her. The pianists kind of see everything, you know. They're an observer of the highs, the lows. This is very interesting. Ah, there's Tarasova, one of the coaches, or at the Mariinsky. Love to know what she thought. My gosh. I mean, everyone's hugging him and everything. So interesting. So interesting. Wow. So I would say, oh my gosh. Interesting. I would say that went really well for them. Like, you know, they all did they all did really well. They all did what they were needing to do for Tsiskaridze, like, and in the exam, like nothing visibly went wrong. And I'm sure they've spent the whole year on that, like getting their speed up, being able to do, you know, double soutenu again and again, 1,000 pirouettes. And it is an impressive exam, where my point of view is someone who was there before with Altanai and who obviously adores the classicism and the purity of the Vaganova method, the Vaganova Academy Vaganova method, you know, as opposed to the Bolshoi Vaganova method, which is obviously slightly different. It's very interesting for me to see because it's extremely different, and it's producing different dancers. You know, as you can see, like they look different. They don't look pure Mariinsky. You know, they look like a little bit more flashy, a little bit more brash. Like, for example, if you put one of those girls in next to Smirnova and Maria Horova, even at their age, it would be like night and day in terms of the style. The style would look very different, and the maturity of artistic presence and ability to express in an extremely artistic way would also be kind of obvious. So yeah, and then so I feel like there's so much emphasis on speed, there's so much emphasis on technical pirouette ability. I mean, our teacher, you know, not to say our teacher didn't focus on it, like we did many difficult pirouettes, many difficult things, but it wasn't like the main focus, you know. The main focus was being extremely correct, extremely pure, having extremely beautiful lines and expression, and she was bringing that out of us daily, you know. It really felt like she was really trying to make us into our own individual artists. Nonetheless, it's going to be really interesting to see. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you don't mind my very honest feedback and opinions. I'm not here to necessarily say what's happening is wrong. I'm just kind of observing and letting you all know my honest thoughts. And yeah, I think it's kind of obvious though that we can see that it's changing. But deep down in my heart, I'm really desperate for it to retain its beautiful purity and classicism and what makes it so wonderfully great, you know. And there is a little worry in me that that's changing. There is a little worry in me that priorities are put elsewhere, but things change and we'll see what happens. But I hope it's all for the greater good. So guys, let me know what you thought in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know a lot of you wanted to hear my thoughts, so there they are. And I wish you a wonderful day. Keep dancing and really focus on those details and your artistic presence, your maturity whilst you're dancing. Make all your lines extremely beautiful, extremely clear, and really build those foundations well, because it will build you up to be able to do anything. You don't want any limitations. And I'll speak to you guys very soon. Bye for now. Before you go, if you enjoyed this video, you're really going to enjoy my BWI platform. Try it for 14 days, absolutely free. Whether you're a beginner or a professional, we have everything you'll need to succeed. We have classes, courses, which are in-depth lessons, plans, as well as bespoke plans, whether you're struggling with organization and you just really need to know exactly what to do. Maybe you watch endless videos on YouTube, but you don't even know if the level you're watching is catered to you. Well, that's where BWI comes in. Try it for 14 days and you won't regret it.